Hello and welcome. I'm so excited that you're here to practice with me today. This practice is about 40 minutes. It's slow and gentle, but will still build heat through held postures and allow for a deep rest at the end. A block or two would be especially helpful for today's practice, though they're not necessary. You might also like having a blanket nearby. Let's get started. We will begin in a seated posture. You can sit up on a block or a blanket with your legs crossed or sitting back on your heels, whatever feels the most grounded and comfortable for you. As you arrive in this posture, are there any areas in your body where you immediately notice you're holding tension? Can you use a soft breath to release that? Can you soften your shoulders just a little bit more? Maybe relax your jaw? How is your breath moving throughout your body? Without changing the quality or pace of your breath, tune into its natural rhythm. If finding that connection to your breath is challenging today, that's okay. Maybe you try bringing your hands over your stomach to feel it rise and fall with each breath. Inhale, imagine the crown of your head lifting just a little bit closer to the sky. And exhale, drop your chin towards your chest, letting your head grow really heavy. Let this gently stretch the muscles along the back of your neck. Deep breath. Inhale, return your head to neutral. And exhale, drop your right ear to your right shoulder, making sure that your left shoulder stays nice and low. Again, let your head hang heavy, feeling this open up the left side of your neck. Deep breath. Inhale, return your head to neutral. And exhale, drop your left ear to your left shoulder. This time your right shoulder stays nice and low. Head hangs heavy, opening up the right side of your neck. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, track your chin forward and up, looking towards the ceiling, opening up your throat space. Just one breath here. Inhale for neutral. Take about 3 more breaths, moving into any of these stretches that felt especially good, or just take some neck rolls each direction. Come back to stillness. We're going to move into some shoulder rolls next. If you'd like to switch your seated posture, go ahead and do that now. Bring your hands to your knees, and on your next inhale, roll your shoulders forward and up towards your ears. Exhale, pull your shoulder blades together and behind you, then drop your shoulders back down. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Take 2 more just like that. Following those 2 rounds, reverse the motion. Inhaling brings your shoulders back and up. Exhaling, forward and down. Repeat that 3 more times on your own pace. Following those rounds, feel free to spend a few breaths moving your shoulders in any way that felt especially good, or just enjoy the stillness. The choice is yours. With your hands still on your knees, inhale, rocking forward on your pelvis, pressing your chest forward and up for a seated cow posture. Pull your shoulder blades together behind you. Exhale, seated cat, rock back on your pelvis and round the rest of your spine into a C shape, allowing your shoulder blades to grow apart from each other. Inhale, open your chest, cow. Exhale, curve back, cat. Take 3 more rounds just like that at your own pace. Keep breathing. Return to stillness. To continue warming ourselves into this practice, we're going to invite the Ujjayi, or victorious warrior style of breath. Begin by taking a big, slow inhale deep into the belly. And on the exhale, constrict the back of your throat and breathe out through your nose. This should sound something like an ocean wave, or as though you're trying to fog the mirror up in front of you. Let your breaths be long and slow, feeling all those muscles that wrap around your core expand on your inhales and contract as you complete your exhales. Keep breathing. Throughout the rest of our practice, I encourage you to use this Ujjayi style of breath as it's warming and energizing. But if it feels uncomfortable or just not right for you today, please feel free to leave it. That's perfectly okay. On your next inhale, circle sweep your arms up overhead, reaching tall through your fingertips while keeping your shoulders low. Exhale, palms come together and down to heart center. Take one more sweep just like that. How does it feel to take such a large motion? Inhale, sweep your hands up, and this time on your exhale, bend at your elbows and pull them down to point towards the floor, making a cactus shape with your arms. You have an option to pull your shoulder blades together and lift your gaze, opening up your heart. Inhale, return your spine to neutral, reaching your hands up towards the sky. Exhale, palms come together and down to heart center. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. And exhale, cactus. Full breath here. Inhale to reach up, neutral spine. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Inhale, hands up overhead. And on this next exhale, drop your right hand behind your seat like it's a little kickstand, keeping you tall. Left hand comes to either knee. Your gaze can look out over the right shoulder if that feels comfortable. Inhale, grow tall in your spine. And exhale, soften into this twist. Repeat that for 3 more breaths. On your next inhale, reach up tall, untwist, and exhale, twist to the other side. This time the left hand comes down and behind you as that little kickstand. Right hand can come down to either knee. Your gaze can look out over the left shoulder if that feels comfortable on your neck. Again, inhale to grow tall, and exhale, soften into this twist. Continue that for 3 more breaths. Inhale, reach tall and untwist. Exhale, bring your hands all the way down to your heart center. Let your thumbs plug into your chest, tune into your heart beating. Bring both of your hands to your mat and rock over your knees to come to tabletop. Once arriving in tabletop, let your knees go wide, toes come to touch, keeping your hands engaged with the mat. Press your hips down and back over your heels, child's pose. Keep breathing. Can you feel your belly rise and fall as it presses against your thighs? Inhale, lift back up to tabletop with your wrists underneath your shoulders or just slightly forward of your shoulders and knees right underneath your hips. Tuck your toes and lift your knees to hover just a few inches above the mat. Feel your core engage. Deep breath. Keeping this deep bend in your knees. Exhale to press through your hands, bringing your chest forward towards your thighs. Knees stay bent. Lift your hips slightly, creating a long, strong, flat back. When you can't get your back any longer, allow your knees to straighten any amount, arriving in downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Once you arrive in down dog, feel free to pedal out your feet, lift your heels and soften them down a few times. Whatever helps you feel settled in this posture. Let your head hang heavy. Maybe you shake your head no, nod it yes to help encourage your neck to release. Let your heels settle down towards the mat. They don't have to touch, just be working in that direction. And if keeping a bend in your knees allows you to prioritize that strong, flat back, please feel free to do that. With a big inhale, lift your right leg any amount as though you're being pulled up by a string attached to your heel. You can come up onto your left toes a little to give yourself just a little bit more lift. Take another inhale. And exhale, bend your right knee, rock your weight forward as though going into a plank posture, and tuck your right knee beneath you towards your nose. Plant your right foot between your hands, either by pressing your torso into a cat-like shape to make space, or by taking a few little steps. With your right foot in between your hands, ground down into all 4 corners of your right foot and all the toes of your left. When you feel steady and stable, inhale, reach your hands up overhead, high lunge, stacking your shoulders on top of your hips. As you reach tall through your fingertips, keep your shoulders low. Sink into your hips while pulling both thighs into the midline. Make sure your front knee is in line with your ankle. Take another inhale and exhale, drop your left heel to the mat, bringing your foot to the back edge of your mat. We're setting up for Warrior 2. So check in with your front foot and make sure that the right heel is in line with your back heel or arch, whichever feels better on your hips. When you feel stable in your foundation, reach your arms out to a T and gaze out over your front middle finger. Keep breathing. Press into the outer edge of your left foot. Keep your torso perpendicular to the floor. Broaden between your shoulder blades. Keep your front knee bent, and with our next inhale, we come to Exalted Warrior. Flip your right palm up and reach up towards the sky, dropping your left arm down along your left leg. Feel as open up your right side body. Take a full breath. Another big inhale. Exhale, bend your right elbow and place it just inside of your bent right knee, reaching your left arm up and over to the front of your mat. Extended side angle. Full breath. On your next inhale, reach your left arm back and return to warrior two. Straighten your right knee. Left foot stays right where it is, or maybe it steps in just a little bit closer. With your arms to a T, reach forward with your right fingers as far as you possibly can while pressing back through your left hip. When you can't reach any further, tick-tock your arms so that they're perpendicular to the mat. Our head shines forward to that front edge of our mat. Right fingers are reaching towards the floor, maybe coming to a block, and left fingers reaching to the sky. This is triangle pose, Trikonasana. Keep your shoulders stacked and keep pressing into the outside edge of your back foot. One more inhale. And exhale. Drop both hands to frame your right foot. Swivel up onto your left toes and step your right foot back to meet the left in a plank pose, like the top of a push-up. Start with your wrist underneath your shoulders, then rock your weight forward. Either from your toes or from your knees, lower yourself about halfway, keeping your elbows tucked in close to your torso. Maybe you hold in this chaturanga or lower all the way down onto your belly. With your next inhale, find cobra or up dog, pressing down into the tops of your feet, lifting your chest and gazing forward. Exhale, tuck your toes and press up and back to downward dog, maybe stopping in tabletop along the way. Once you arrive in downward dog, pedal out your feet again. Notice how the two sides of your body might feel a little bit different. 2 more deep breaths. Come back to stillness. And with a big inhale, lift your left leg any amount. Take another inhale. And exhale, bend your left knee, rock your weight forward, tucking your left knee beneath you towards your nose. Plant your left foot between your hands now, either by pressing your torso into a cat-like shape to make space for your knee to swing under, or just by taking a few little steps. Ground down into your left foot and the toes of your right. When you feel steady and stable, inhale, reach your hands up overhead, stacking your shoulders on top of your hips. High lunge. Keep your shoulders low even while you're reaching up. Sink into your hips. Zipper your thighs into the midline. And make sure that your front knee is in line with your ankle. Take another inhale. And exhale, drop your right heel to the mat, bringing your foot parallel to the back edge of your mat. Warrior two. Check in with your front foot. Make sure that your left heel is in line with either your back arch or heel, whichever feels better on your hips. When you feel stable in your foundation, reach your arms out to a T and gaze over your front middle finger. Keep breathing. Again, press into the outer edge of your right foot. Keep your torso perpendicular to the floor. Broaden between your shoulder blades. Keep your front knee bent. And inhale for exalted warrior. Reach your left hand towards the sky, dropping your right arm down and along your right leg. Left side of your body is opening up. Full breath. Another big inhale. And exhale, place your left elbow just inside of your bent left knee, reaching your right arm up and over to the front of your mat. Extended side angle. Full breath. On your next inhale, return to warrior two. Straighten your left knee. Right foot stays right where it is, or maybe steps in just a little bit closer. With your arms to a T, reach forward with your left fingers as far as you possibly can while pressing back through your right hip. When you can't reach any further, tick-tock your arms so that they're perpendicular to the mat, still pressing back through your hip, pressing forward through the top of your head. Left fingers are reaching towards the floor, maybe coming to a block, and right fingers are reaching to the sky. Keep your shoulders stacked. One more inhale. And exhale, drop both hands to frame your front foot. Swivel up onto your right toes. Step your left foot back to meet the right in plank. And from plank, we take that vinyasa, lowering yourself down about halfway. Elbows stay real close to your torso. Inhale for cobra. And exhale all the way back to downward dog, maybe stopping in tabletop along the way. 3 full deep breaths in downward dog. Can you return to that ujjayi style of breathing? We will repeat that sequence 2 more times, and I'll cue the first time with a little bit less instruction. Then the second time, you'll be able to flow through it at your own pace. And if at any point you want to take out the vinyasa and press right back to downward dog from plank, please feel free to do so. Option is always there to take child's pose in the middle. This is your practice, your time. Do what's right for you. We'll begin by lifting the right foot on an inhale. And exhale, step it through to plant between your hands. Inhale, ground down into your feet and reach up into a high lunge. Exhale, sink into the bend of your right knee. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, warrior 2. Swivel your left heel down, arms come out to a T. Full breath. Inhale, exalted warrior, front hand lifts. Exhale, extended side angle, elbow to knee. Inhale, return to warrior 2. Exhale, triangle. Straighten your right knee, reach through your right fingers and left hip, then tick-tock your arms. Full breath. Bring both hands to the mat to frame your front foot, and then step the right foot back into plank. From here, either take a vinyasa or press back to downward dog. If you choose the vinyasa, inhale to rock your weight forward. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. In downward dog, take 3 full breaths. Following that third exhale, take another inhale, lift the left leg any amount. Exhale, step it through to plant between your hands. Ground down into your feet and reach up, inhale to a high lunge. Exhale, sink into the bend of your left knee. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, warrior 2. Swivel your right heel down, press into the outside edge of that foot, and arms come out to a T. Full breath. Inhale, exalted warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, return to warrior 2. Exhale, straighten your left knee, triangle, reaching through your left fingers and right hip, then tick-tocking your arms. Full breath. Bring both hands to the mat to frame your front foot and step the left foot back to meet the right into a plank. From here, either take that vinyasa or press right back into downward dog. The choice is yours. Once you arrive in downward dog, take 3 full breaths, and then begin again at your own pace. When you return to downward dog that second time, Drop your knees, let them go wide, toes come to touch, and press back into child's pose. Keep breathing. From child's pose, lift up to tabletop, then come back to downward dog, sending your hips high and heels dropping towards the mat. Inhale and look forward to your hands. With either a few steps or one hop, bring your feet to meet your hands. Bend deeply into your knees, supporting your chest with your thighs in this forward fold. Let your head hang heavy, release into gravity. Maybe take hold of opposite elbows and gently sway side to side. Release your hands to the mat or a block. Straighten your knees any amount, lifting up through your hips, opening up the back of your legs. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins or thighs. Press your chest out and away for a halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Torso parallel with the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly round your way all the way up to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Your head is the last thing to arrive. When you reach the top, inhale, sweep your hands up overhead. Exhale, draw your palms together and down to heart center. Take a moment to check in with your feet. Are they about hip-width distance apart? Toes pointing to the front of your mat? Inhale, take another sweep of your arms, and exhale, sink back into chair pose, Utkatasana. Keep your knees tracking over your toes, weight sinking into your heels. Only sit back as far as you can while keeping a strong back. Inhale, reach through your fingers. Exhale, can you sink a little bit lower? Inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Another inhale, imagine your spine lengthening just a little bit more. Exhale, twist open to the right. Hips stay square to the front of the mat. We're just twisting through the mid and upper spine. You can try to bring your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh, but bringing your elbow to the inside of your left thigh is also just as good. One more full breath. Inhale, untwist, and exhale, forward fold. Hands come down to the mat, hips go high. Inhale, halfway lift, press out long from tailbone to the top of your head. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll all the way up to standing. Once you reach the top, inhale, sweep your hands up overhead, and exhale, draw your palms together at heart center. Inhale, take another sweep of your arms all the way up overhead, and this time on your exhale, sink back into chair pose, Utkatasana. Keep your knees tracking over your toes, weight sinking into your heels. Inhale, reach through your fingers. Can you get a little bit longer? Exhale, can you sink down just a little bit lower, even if you just imagine it? Inhale, reach up, knees stay bent. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, twist open to the left. Hips stay square. You can try to bring your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh, but bringing your elbow to the inside of your right thigh is just as good. One more breath. Inhale, untwist, and exhale, forward fold. Hands come down to the mat, hips go high. Plant both hands on the mat, bending your knees if needed, and come to a plank. And from here, take either a vinyasa or press back into downward dog. The choice is yours. Once you arrive at downward dog, lower your knees and come to child's pose, Balasana. In child's pose, take 3 deep breaths. Inhale, slowly press back to tabletop, knees underneath your hips. On an exhale, slide your right arm underneath your left with your palm facing up. Let your right shoulder come all the way down onto the mat, resting your right ear and cheek on the mat and gazing towards your left. And if this feels uncomfortable on your face or your shoulder, try using a blanket for extra padding and to bring the floor up a little bit closer to you. Keep your left elbow lifting and your hips raised. Careful to not press your weight into your head, instead adjusting your position so you're not straining your neck or shoulder. Let your upper back broaden, soften and relax your jaw. Allow all the tension in your shoulders, arms, and neck to drain away into the floor. 5 deep breaths. Inhale, untwist, and return to tabletop. We'll begin on the other side. Then exhale, slide your left arm underneath your right with your palm facing up. Let your left shoulder come all the way down to the mat, resting your left ear and cheek on that mat. Then gazing towards the right. Keep your right elbow lifted, your hips raised. Again, being careful not to press your weight into your head, but adjusting your position so that you're not straining your neck or shoulder. Let this posture soften and relax your lower back. Inhale, untwist, and return to tabletop. Swivel your hips to the side and come to a seat. Once in a seat, lower all the way down onto your back. Extend your arms along the floor, reaching towards your heels, palms flat. Press your feet and arms firmly into the floor. Exhale and lift your hips towards the ceiling. Bridge pose. Don't squeeze your glutes. If it feels comfortable, roll your shoulders back and underneath your body, gently opening up your chest towards the sky. Keep your chin tucked. You have an option to clasp your hands and extend your arms along the floor beneath your pelvis. One more breath. And exhale. Unclasp your hands if you took that option. And slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, roll all the way down. Full breath. On your next inhale, lift back up into bridge. pressing down into your feet, keeping your thighs and feet parallel, not rolling into the outer edges of your feet, but keeping the weight evenly spread. One more breath, and exhale, release all the way down to the floor. We're going to take bridge one more time and hold it for an extended amount of time. So if you'd like to hold it on your own, awesome. Feel free to do that. If you'd like to take a more restorative version of this, grab a block, and after lifting up into bridge, place it just below your sacrum so that your weight can rest on that block. Find an option that works for you. And on your next inhale, lift up by pressing into your feet. Keep breathing. On your next exhale, remove the block if you are using it and slowly lower all the way down to the ground. Tuck your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug, rocking back and forth or moving however feels good on your back. Come to stillness and then drop your feet back down to the mat, maybe just a bit further from your hips than when we were in bridge. Let your arms reach out to a T. Big inhale, and exhale, drop your knees to the right for a gentle supine twist. And if there's another twist that would better serve you today, feel free to take that. Gaze can go out over your left fingers if that feels comfortable for you, or you can look right up to the ceiling. If you're feeling like the floor is too far away from your knees, you can use a blanket or a block to help bring the floor up closer. Allow each exhale to soften you, sinking into the floor in this twist. Inhale, untwist, come back to center. Exhale, let your knees drop to the left. This time your gaze can go out over the right fingers if that feels comfortable. The side might feel different, and that's okay. Bring in any props that might allow you to more fully release into this new side. And keep breathing. Inhale, untwist. And if there are any other poses that would help your time on your mat feel more complete, then please feel free to take them now. Otherwise, I invite you to release into Savasana, corpse pose, letting your feet go long, arms reaching down towards your hips. Take a slight tuck of your chin to lengthen the back of your neck along the mat. Soften your mind. Allow your thoughts to fade just as quickly as they come. Release any control over your breath. Release your muscles, any holding or tension that remains in your body. Let it melt into the floor beneath you. Allow your awareness to come back to your breath, then your body, slowly wiggling your fingers and your toes, bending your knees, tucking them in close to your chest, bending your elbows to wrap your arms around your legs one last time. Gently roll over to one side or the other into a fetal position. When you're ready, and there's no rush, gently press yourself back up to a seat. Once in a seat, take a big sweep of your arms to reach tall, and then exhale, hands to heart center. Thank you so very much for practicing with me today. May you seek justice, love mercy, and walk humbly.